Hello, and welcome to the channel. I'm the Coins Monster. What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in. All right, let's get into the market for the upcoming week, reviewing what has happened in the past 7 days with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. All right, so I'm going to start with Bitcoin. As you've probably seen in my videos, the bounce has taken place where it was predicted, although Bitcoin is still in a tricky situation, right? Very, very tricky situation. But before we get into that, I want to jump into the chat quickly and say hello to the people who are in here. Ozzy, my man, thanks for coming in, bro. All right, get your list of coins ready. I know you like to take a look at a lot of coins. I will do them on the live here. All right. So, updates. Now, what I see in Bitcoin is similar price action to what has happened previously in 2018. Okay, I made a video for my little group that I have in Telegram, telling them there's a possibility there could be another drop. Okay, maybe down to 36, 34K. Although it's not a guarantee, but it can happen. And I will discuss that with you why. So as you can see, we got Bitcoin in currently a downward channel, which is called a falling wedge. All right. Now, it is a falling wedge. It is a bullish pattern. Okay, they typically break 68 to 70% chance to the upside, right? Although it lacks strength at the moment. Okay, when I look at the indicators, you got the ADX that is weak, stochastics are losing momentum, and slightly bearish pattern on the RSI, which is the head and shoulders. Okay, it's slanted, but it's there. Many people cannot see it yet, but it's forming. Or at the very least, we got the double top, right? That is just something to be taken into account. All right. Now, what happened in 2018, Bitcoin was in a similar price action, and it got every single person by surprise. Okay. This is the level that it broke. And this was very, very surprising. Now, I would say it's going to break to the upside because it's a bullish pattern overall. But it does look to be printing a bear flag at this very moment. Okay, as you can see right here. But I'm going to take this measured move from this level. Okay, just a key support and resistance. So, it is a bear flag, and in that bear flag, it's got a head and shoulders. Okay, so very big chance it breaks to the downside. Just have to be careful. It's not a guarantee, but stop losses must be placed. Okay, must be placed just so we don't catch any surprises. Okay. Now, if that does happen, I still believe Bitcoin's going to break to the upside, and it will hit our famous 702 fib level. Okay, that sits between $58,000 and $60,000. That's my main target. Okay, this is the range and the percentage that I would go for Bitcoin on a long, from 36K up to 58K. That would be the max. That's where I will take profits. Okay, no matter what the market situation, that's where I will take profits. Even though Bitcoin does fall to 34,000, okay, back to this key support level right here. Even if it does that, It's still bullish, but I would not take a long position from 34,000. I would definitely take a long from higher low at 36 and still go above 58,000. Okay, that's the key inflection point, major resistance zone right here. And I would not even wait for 58k to be hit. I know it can, but best take your profits and go home. It's just a lot easier. Okay, so that's the update on Bitcoin. And just watch for this, okay? Because Bitcoin's looking weak. Some altcoins are moving, but to be completely honest, it's not a big move. And most of these coins are not retracing as well, just to retest the breakout of the bullish pattern. But we don't know what the breakout currently is, or will it happen though? Because for these altcoins, even though they had their capitulation, they still need to go back to the reaccumulation zone. Alright? So if you watch my previous videos on Bitcoin, the best place to accumulate the final phase of the altcoins will be down in here. Okay? Breakout, retest, and that's where we accumulate. Okay? Now I will disclose, I do still hold my long-term bags because it is impossible to predict the bottom or the top. So it just makes it a lot easier if we just focus and accumulate the coins that we need for a longer run, for the remainder of the bull run after the breakout and the retest. Okay. All right. I'll quickly go through with you the coins that I'm watching, and I think these can actually do a long percentage gain. Now, one of these is called Heroes. Okay, the E's are actually replaced with 3, so the ticker is H3RO3S. All right, that's some cool coin. Now I'm watching this coin because apparently it did a 400% gain in a day. Although when it did that, I just remembered SHIB. For some reason, I just remembered SHIB. SHIB also did a 400% gain in a day, right? Maybe 2 at the very most. But then it consolidated for like 3-4 days before it broke out and ended up doing a 10x in total. So I'm watching this coin, and I have the fractal ready from SHIB on here. I'm just waiting to see a little bit of accumulation before I take a position in it. Okay, this long fractal right here, this will be ideal to build a position. Okay, because this just avoids the choppiness in it, and the targets, well, it can go all the way to the top of the wick right here. So that's a 700% gains from the breakout of this consolidation range, 754% to be exact. So that's not going to be bad. I'll just have to watch it, because taking a trade right now at this point seems a bit risky. Okay, the indicators are too high at the moment. I'm waiting for this histogram to turn red, or at the very least come out to the 0 level right here. And if the price holds within this range while the histogram is at the 0 level, all the indicators are reset, I will definitely take a position and go for that 700%. Ozzy, you got any questions? MTV, it's another trade I posted for the guys. Okay, it gave 35%. Now I would wait for this thing to consolidate and grab it again at the retest, maybe 0.009, and then go back up. Okay, from that buy zone, it'll be about a 50% gain, and that could take out a week to play. Okay, take profit level. Buy zone right here. In this position. And then take profit right here. Clear cut 53% gains. You can get out easy and then wait for the indicators to reset and then grab it down again. So that's one of the coins that I'm watching. And Mana seems to be doing well. That's another trade I posted for the guys. Mana and Sand. And I don't know what it is with these coins. Every single time I post a trade on here, they just blast off within like 30 seconds. Takes about 30 seconds for these to blast off. Okay. Right here. That was a small percentage gain. Posted this thing at 295. Ended up going 8%. It did not take more than a minute. Now I'm currently in the trade for the small position because I have a theory on this thing. Okay. Now I got these 3 arrows here mainly because of this 200-day moving average. Okay, it's been hit once, it's been hit twice, and the third time almost there. But the reason why I'm still in the trade is my little theory of this pattern right here, this price action. This looks like Bitcoin's reaccumulation of Wyckoff before it blasted off to the upside. So that's why I have a target of 368. That's the measured move. And the fib levels, that's confluent. Plus on the daily time frame, it actually looks good because all the indicators are low with the high time frame bullish divergence. And that is pretty healthy. We have that bullish divergence, higher low, low on the indicators, double bottom on the stochastics, and 50 moving average sitting at 357. So I think it can even wick all the way to 368 to my target. Just a theory, but I think it can play out. Mainly because the daily time frame has a lot more weight than the 4-hour time frame, which is almost topped out. So could take a day or two. Maybe you might even find a good entry. And after the breakout of this pattern, hit the 200-day moving average, come back down around $3, and then bounce back up. I would not take a trade at this very moment, open a position, because my entry was way down low, around 290, and then your risk will just be higher. Yes, my man, QRDO, one of my favorite coins. Now, it is at the bottom of the triangle, okay, but just waiting for this thing to play out with a little bit of choppiness out of question. Okay, I love this coin, I really do, but this fractal won't play out exactly, of course, but it has so far, okay, with the bounces and all. I don't want this choppiness, okay, that's what I don't want. I'm actually going to place a bid at 450 for QRDO, okay, to complete my position, but I don't want this choppiness. I really don't. It's very annoying. And to be honest, looking at the indicators, it looks good, but this is daily, so it can definitely take a few days to play out. But the reason why I'm posting a bid at 450 is because of the possibility of Bitcoin drop. Okay, that's the only reason. And if I'm taking a look at the weekly on QRDO, let me zoom in this thing right here. Okay, QRDO. Right, the only thing that concerns me is this stochastics right here. Okay, it's just started to appear, it's going down, and I think it can bounce from halfway. Okay, I just need to see a little bit of bearish momentum, because that to me will mean that this thing will hold and my buy at 450 will be complete, okay, with a higher low. That is it. I just need to see one green candle on the weekly and then a retest. That will be perfect. I don't care if I don't get the best price at 394. I'll happily buy it at 450. It just works out that way, a lot easier and better. Okay, I would place a buy right here at 450. I know it was gonna bounce from there, but this crazy wick action and the choppiness that we're gonna get, I don't know, man. I really like QRDO though. It's a beautiful project. Guys, anyone who's watching it, I have made a video on this thing, so do give us a look out for the videos. And I explained the tech a little bit, and if you don't have QRDO or you haven't looked into it, I strongly recommend you do the research and get a position in it. Not financial advice though. Okay. Good buy zones, my man. Far and Tasty, thanks for coming into the live. I read your comment, and I'll show you the fibs and how I get the targets as well. QRDO, I'm not sure. I just need to see the choppiness to go away, and only then I can give the accurate buy zones. But for now, let's just hypothetically say, okay, this is the bottom, right? There we go. This definitely looks bullish to me. There can be a chance it goes down to capitulate a bit more and give you a buy at $4. Okay? I'll just accumulate dollar cost average into it every time I see a nice little dip. Okay? That would be the best thing to do. That will definitely be the best thing to do. That's what I'm doing personally, because I think the next time it breaks out, it's going to be huge. Huge. Let me see if I can find a nice little fractal theory on there. Okay. Yeah. Thing to watch is 4 and 450. That's the key level. If we see a chop zone, actually that's a good idea. If you see a chop zone right here, and this fractal play out, that chop zone could be a decent buy zone. Anything between $4 and $4.50. Okay? But I'm going to personally accumulate with a higher low. So even if it doesn't get down to $4.50, I would definitely accumulate with a higher low. Okay, so if the pattern plays out, maybe it hits the bottom of the trend line, capitulates, I will not enter. I will only enter here on this little bounce before it blasts off to the upside. Okay, but the daily is looking absolutely phenomenal. I just need the weekly to set a little bit, because there is not much data on weekly, so it's hard to say. You know, it's hard to say right here if it's going to be the bottom or not. That's the only thing. Alright, so Far and Tasty, give me a coin that you were looking to get entry into on the fib targets. If I'm not mistaken, your comment was on the Flux video, right? Alright, so Flux, I made a video on this thing explaining why people should get out. Alright, even though there was an extremely bullish news that they partnered with Nvidia, I just didn't trust it, because the bullish news always comes out at the top. Okay, always comes out at the top. Alright, I'll take a look at FTM, but let me get through this thing first. Okay, so learning patterns, guys, is extremely important. It can be helpful. Okay, you got a slanted head and shoulders right here. Okay, that was one of the reasons why I said taking profits would be excellent idea right here, and also with the double tops. Okay, hold on, let me set this right here. Actually, I'm going to use the other chart. What was that thing? Alright, just for the sake of it, let's see. When BTC pairs are maxed out, USDT pairs are not going to move as much. Okay, so take a look. This is what I mentioned on the other video. Bearish divergence. Actually, I'm going to find that chart. It's going to be a lot easier. Lux USDT. Okay, there we go. Now the tops, double tops, bearish divergence. You just have to wait for this thing to come down. Okay. Also, right here, my other theory of 200-day moving average. That thing appears. Okay. Most likely, you will get it down again at 120, 125, or at least 150. Okay, so watch for that. Now, while we're on this coin, the Fibonacci's. Okay. We'll take it from the breakout of this consolidation zone to the top. 175, 127, 132, and then 104. Those will be my targets to get flux back. Okay. Eddie, my man, thanks for coming, bro. Hey, listen, we can also do the stream in Spanish, right? So if you want to let the other guys know, they can chime in and we can take a look at a bunch of coins and provide more data, right? FTM. Ozzy, if you're still watching, make sure you keep heroes on your radar, okay? I think it's a good one. And Foreign Tasty, I would not touch FTM right now, brother. I would not do it. I would wait for a retest, and this most likely comes down to about $3. Okay, $2.95 or $2.80. Those are my targets for retracement. I would do that way because I think what's going to happen right now on FTM is this bearish divergence that's going to be played out. Okay, so even if this does go right here, this goes a little bit up, let it go and then come back down. Okay, because there's green hill, the next one that's going to be printed is going to be smaller, so it's going to print a bearish divergence. Okay, now why do I say that? Because one, that's what typically happens, and then the RSI is showing me what I need to do. Look, it's broken out apparently on the RSI. Okay, so it made a falling wedge. So but even though it's a breakout, watch for this double top. Okay, double tops typically on the RSI leads to fake out, and that means the bearish divergence is going to be printed, and so far it actually has. Okay, if you take a look here between that swing high to swing high, that's a swing high to swing low. That's bearish divergence on the RSI. Okay, it's actually massive. So this is whole thing on bearish divergence. Okay, that's how big it is. So you got to be careful and take FTM when it retraces, not now. Yeah, FTM was good. I think a short would have been nice, to be honest. Like nice little scalp short on FTM. Okay, and maybe if it plays out to the target, maybe we went to the breakout level right here to $3. It's about 8% gain, 8 to 9% gains, and yeah, with the 10x leverage, that's about 80%. So that's not too bad. That's not too bad. All right. So watch this coin as well. Okay, it's called Spell. Watch it. It's not ready yet, but watch it. Now QRDO, we did that. Oh, let's go with one of the other videos I made. HTR. Okay, now HTR is sitting around about the same place as what we got QRDO at. Okay, it's doing the same thing. And thing is, I cannot recommend, or I can't even bother to find an entry right here, because first I need to see that choppiness be over. Okay, the only thing is this looks a lot like CHZ. Okay, I traded that before and it's just It was horrible. It was horrible how bad it was. It actually broke down so bad, it had to capitulate. Okay, and I do not want to touch it anytime. But let's take a look at the fibs. Okay, so we got the 886, got the 786. I think what this coin is going to do, let's remove all of that and just use the fibs. Okay, so for HTR, I think we have a little choppiness and consolidation in store for us. Okay, so something like that before it goes back up. Okay, so I think anything close to $1 is a decent buy for HTR, and usually that's what they do as well. Okay, so we got a bottom. What this will do is it will come down, print a double bottom, and when it does print a double bottom, it's going to bounce and give a quick 25 to 30% gains, and then come back down to retest a higher low. Okay, that will be the safest bet on how to trade HTR, because it's going to be in a range. And I've seen this thing before right here. Okay, the issue is that this is the range that HTR usually plays out. Okay, so we got this one. That's the one right here. Okay, so see, if you want to trade it, make a range box, right? Let this thing come down a little bit and let it trade back up to 25-30% wherever it bottoms at. Okay, maybe about $1, $1.15, and then $1.50. Trade it in that range. Okay, and I think it's going to take a while before it breaks out. In that case, let's draw a pattern right here. We'll take the massive fake out and pull this right in here. There we go. Okay, just to be safe, if we do get capitulated, because honestly this does look like a bit of a bear flag, I still got my $7 target on HTR. Right. Now, let's take a look at Bitcoin again, see what it's doing. I think it should be trying to bounce. Yeah, it is. All right. One thing about Bitcoin, in 2 days' time, we have a full moon. Okay? We definitely have a full moon. So, I can't trust the full moon pumps. Well, mainly because of this price action right here. And even if it does pump, it will definitely come back down and get rejected and play choppiness before it decides to come back down and give us a higher low. So watch for the 2 days and let's see. I think by Tuesday it should do it. Tomorrow night, just wait for a pump, I think. But I'm not sure what can happen between then. It might just decide to capitulate all of us right now by surprise and then bounce back up. Okay, so we gotta watch. 2 days, full moon, remember. Okay, C98. I'm really watching this coin very closely. This is one of the best trades I can find for the next couple of days. Okay, 25% gains. Just something, if you have a little side money lying around, you want to take a trade, watch for this coin. Okay, it's sitting in an excellent position. TAs wise speaking, I mean, bottom, bullish divergence, higher low, and this can actually go up to 24 to 30% actually. Let's give it 30%. Yeah, can be a good one. But stop loss, okay, you can keep it tight as well. 7% stop loss, I think it should be good. Because if it does break down, it's definitely come back down to 2.10. Okay, you can grab an entry there and then just let it go to the upside. But I want you guys to keep it on your radar because one, I've made a video on it and I think it can be a useful project for people. And reason two, it's actually got a bigger percentage, 300% gains. Okay, keep this on radar. I'm not sure if it's on futures as well, but if it is, you can trade it. Right. MTV is no good anymore. Dot. Just make a bigger term projection on dot. I think the best it can do this cycle is 120 bucks. That's the best dot can do. But it's a slow mover. It's not a coin that I would trade on spot right now, given the fact that there are so many metaverse coins that are coming. But if you're a big fan of dot with the parrot chain auctions, 300% gains, 378% gains actually, it's not a bad idea. Oh, look at that, man is doing really well. And one other trade that I actually made is sand. And I think sand can be at a good position. But to be honest, for sand, I would look to get entry around 4 and 350. That would be a great grab on sand. Okay? Because to be honest, to me it's looking weak. Just a little bit. Just a little bit weak on sand. And let's take a look at the 4 hours. Okay. So wick action, I think people are going to take profits a lot sooner. I think this is actually going to come down. Okay. I took my profits on sand. I had a trade made. I took my profits. Took it at about 5-6%. And if this trade does want to play out, better look for an entry around 450. Higher low from this range. That will give you a nice percentage of 15%. Right, Cadena. It's one of my best findings. And great place, great to buy this Cadena for DCA is close to $7. Okay, I think it can get there. In the next week or so, I think it can definitely get there. And when you get it at $7, I think it will be a great bet because it's going to give you like a 200% gains. Very easy and very likely to hit back to $23. Okay, so Cadena, watch for that one. It's been one of my greatest findings. CeeLo, actually this is the trade I'm going to take right now on the live because I think this is going to break out and we have a 12% gains coming out of it. Might just take it on futures. Okay. Breakout, retest, out of the bull pennant. I think CeeLo is in a good place right now. I'm going to take this trade with a stop loss of 4%. 4.62% is going to be my stop loss. 3-to-1 risk reward ratio. I'm going to take this trade. And then we'll see the result within the next 4 hours. Now, the reason why I'm taking the trade is Bitcoin pump right now. And it's Sunday, so we got the weekly close. And I think for the weekly close, it's going to pump a little bit. Okay, so I'm good for the next couple of hours to take the trade. 3-to-1 risk reward ratio isn't bad at all. Okay, news. Bitcoin volatility index. It's at an all-time low. Okay, that's the reason why I think it can pump for the full moon, but I just don't know which way it wants to pump first. Okay, so the price, every time this comes to a very, very, very low, the price pumps after it ranges. Okay, so keep this on the radar along with your full moon theory. You can definitely get a pump. Okay. What other coin I'm watching on the radar? Biko. Biko is one of my coins that it could be a good trade in the coming week. Okay. Because in the coming week, I see a rounded bottom with an Adam and Eve. Okay, that's the rounded bottom right there. got the one atom, and this is going to be forming pretty soon. Okay, so watch for Biko. I think it can break out to the upside pretty nicely. And the targets for Biko, take the capitulation, go back down. I think the targets for Biko are going to be the 1618 fib. So that's the $5 range on Biko. The percentage gains you're looking at from 373 is 45% gains. Okay, so watch for Biko too. Okay, guys, quick mention, I've done a video that's going to be uploaded tomorrow, and it's about a gaming project that I think is going to be pretty hot. Okay, can do an easy 5 to 10x for the next 3 to 4 months. Okay, so watch for it. It's not out yet, and you might still get a chance to get into the pre-sale. Okay, and so watch the video till the end. I do go through the procedures as well as the project with the token metrics, and I've looked at it, and it looks pretty decent, because it reminds me of an old game I used to play, the Age of Empires. Okay, it's very similar to that. And back in the day when you played the Age of Empires, the whole world was playing it. It was insane how many kids were involved in that game. So watch for it, okay? I think it's pretty interesting. Now, if you don't get in the pre-sale, don't worry. There should be a good trade coming out of it after the coin is launched. Right? Okay, so XTZ, I think this coin in the rest of this bull cycle, it definitely does have potential. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this nonsense right here, as this has actually a lovely waves theory that's going on. Okay, so it plays it out perfectly. Okay, so what comes next is going to be another wave, and this is why I'm keeping it on my radar. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the XTZ BTC pair. Okay, because this has more data and it looks absolutely beautiful TA wise speaking. Okay, absolutely beautiful. Now, it's going to be a bit tricky to find exactly how it will play out or when it will play out, but to be honest, we got the 3 touches on the trend line right now. Okay, I'll mark them for you. So you have the 1, you have the second one right here, and the third one. Okay, oops. Now this XTZ looks beautiful, although I'm thinking it might just have one more bottom left, but then it can go to the upside. Okay, now just as I mentioned, guys, my theory of 200-day moving average, when the coin is new, the price comes down. Okay, same goes for 200-day moving average. When it first appears at the top, okay, the price will go to test it on a higher time frame. Now, closer look right here. See? Again, what happened? The price went to test the 200-day moving average on the weekly. Like I said, that's a huge bump. Now, we will get another one. So what would be the short-term targets for XTZ? Well, I would personally look to get an entry around 8,500 Satoshis. Okay, that would be a great place to enter. 8,500 to 9,000 Satoshis. That would be the range. And the targets for this thing is from 60% in the short term, but the way I see it, XTZ is going to break out huge. Okay, it's going to break out huge, and I think this can actually go back and give you 300% gains. Okay, now why I'm saying this is because it's a 4-year bear cycle for the BTC pair. Okay, yeah, we have seen the pumps in the middle, but this is actually very interesting. Okay, the top came in for the BTC pair in 2018 in June. Okay, so when this happened, I mean, it's been 2018 to 2022, that's 4 years of bear cycle. So when this thing breaks out, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes back all the way to the top right here. Okay, 534% gains And XTC is a great project. Okay, look into Tezos. It's an unbelievable project. So when we do get the golden cross, that's the 50 crossing the 200 on the weekly. That's going to be absolutely beautiful, and it's going to take a couple months, but definitely possible. Okay, because it's beautiful. It's definitely beautiful. Now, Ozzy, I don't know if you're still there, but take a look at this. All right. Same thing with QRDO. All right. This is the choppiness I want to avoid. Okay. That's why dollar cost averaging into projects is actually brilliant. This choppiness, it's definitely not something that you want to go through, man. Okay, because it just prints a lot of head and shoulders and all that kind of, gives you all the wrong information. But when you see indicators low like this, that's when you enter. Okay, stochastics low, ADX low, right here. Histogram is in the red. RSI is above 50. Boom, you buy. But at the bottom of the range. Okay, and almost at the end of the choppiness. Okay, so keep Tezos on the radar. I think Tezos is going to do brilliant this year. FTM, I don't know who asked for it. I can't remember. But look, it's coming down. Okay, there should be a bearish divergence printing on it. And if I'm not mistaken, it should be showing in the 1 hour time frame. Yeah, it's right there. Swing high to swing high, swing high to swing low. We got bearish divergence. Okay, the stochastics needs to come down. It's a slanted head and shoulders right there. Yeah, it's gonna come down. You can look for an entry on FTM around $3. Okay, that's where I would look for it. And it's gonna be a hodl at this point. I mean, it's right at the top of its range, all-time high. Okay, so I would definitely wait and see where it does the retest and if how the level holds. I'll take a look at sushi for you. I do like sushi though, because on the weekly it's on a cup and handle. So okay, the bearish divergence on FTM. Yeah, 250, 280, $3. That's my range. 250, 280, $3. Okay, it does it. Now, actually it's not too bad. Let it consolidate here. I'm gonna remove the indicators for a bit. Let it consolidate here and within this range and look for an entry. Okay, because we got the 200-day moving average coming back to support. The 55. If it holds these two levels right here, it's gonna break to the upside and go to $5. Okay, but to be honest, guys, if you're holding FTM, that's great. But if you want to get in for long term right now, honestly, it's not something that I would consider. This is the reason why. Okay, not at these prices. Okay, at the weekly, it's already gone. Okay, whenever you're in doubt as to what to do when the coin has already gone up 10x, 20x, look at the weekly. Okay, now we got the bearish divergence coming on the weekly right here. Okay, so watch for this. I think there is a chance it makes an all-time high again, but to accumulate for long term at these prices is not a good idea. Okay, why? First, you got the bearish divergence. Second, okay, you got the head and shoulders as well. So watch for this thing. And if it does break down, it's got a long way to go. Okay, so even if it does make an all-time high, this RSI right here, the max it will go to is about this trend line right here. Okay, which will still be a bearish divergence. I mean, we've seen it on Bitcoin, so if Bitcoin can do it, FTM will definitely do it. All right. Now, even though the indicators are bottoming out right here on the weekly, but just watch it. There has to be a really big pump for it to negate it, and I don't think Phantom is going to $10 based on that weekly bearish div forming. Okay, it might go to 5, but anything beyond that, I wouldn't risk it. Okay, besides, there's one other thing. Phantom has already hit the 4.236 extension. Okay, now if I want to extend it a bit, fine, you can do. Alright, let's extend it just a little bit. Even if you do that, the max target is 580. Okay, so anyone who says $10, it's, yeah, it can do in projection, but at this point, accumulating for $10, risky. Let's take a look at sushi. All right. Okay, sushi on the weekly, that's where I want to start. Okay. Okay, sushi is risky. Okay, it's a bit risky. Now the reason why I'm saying it's a bit risky is this little gap right here. Okay, because the main support for sushi is sitting around $3. That's the main support for sushi is. Okay, now let's take a look at indicators. What are they saying? Okay, we got the stochastics coming down, the RSI. Yeah, the RSI doesn't got much info right now. Let's take a look at daily. First, I'm going to draw these patterns. And I'm going to use the fibs to see what the targets were for this thing. Right, now we got the tops. Okay, so sushi, in fact, on the USDT pairs has kind of hit the top on 4236. Okay, so that does concern me a little bit. Okay, we got the lower highs, sorry, higher lows and lower highs. That just speaks downtrend. That's on the weekly time frame. Okay, let's take a look at daily. Yeah, it's a massive downtrend channel. Bullish divergence. Yeah, it does have bullish divergence. Okay, so their daily is low, and the weekly, the stochastics needs a little bit more time. Okay, so here's what I would do. For sushi, for this to confirm a break to the upside, I would definitely watch for the stochastics to give me some sort of a signal. Okay, maybe come back down, cross, and do a double bottom like that, and then go to the upside. Okay, just like it did in here. That's what I would do on sushi. Okay, now sushi, even if it's in a downtrend, I'm not gonna say it doesn't have potential. Okay, it can, and go back to a double top. Okay, maybe even a lower high at a double top. 228% can be a possibility. Okay, now how do I find these targets? Well, let's go from top to bottom, and just hypothetically speaking, this is the bottom for sushi. Okay, where would I look to get out of sushi? Anything between 17 and $22 will be my exit for sushi. Okay, and again, that would depend on what the daily says. Okay, so if the daily comes out and it shows me a bearish divergence, and so it prints on the weekly as well, I would think about getting out of sushi. Okay, it all depends on the indicators later on. I hope that answers your question. I do like sushi though, it's a good project. It's just it's been a downtrend ever since it hit that. It's just there is no support, it's all green right here. Okay, so it's pretty much done that. And then it went down to do a ball. Yeah, and one other thing I did, sorry, I'm going to take this ball right here. Okay, and even if I make it as small, look, it has to range. So if you want to make an entry on sushi, It has to range right here. Let's see if it holds support in that one. And when it breaks this range, yes, you can take an entry for it to go to the upside. But typically what happens with the TAs is whenever something is in a falling wedge or a downtrend, when they break out, the best they go to is almost their all-time highs. Okay, so that's why I'm saying between $17 to $20 I would look for my exit. Yeah, well, you know what, that's the thing. I mean, take a look at this, right? I mean, people were so bullish on this thing. They were absolutely bullish, right? Now, I still made the video asking people to take a look and make sure that they lock in some profits. Why? Because even though Flux is great and they partner with Nvidia, bullish news comes out here, okay? And the bearish news will come out down here. So the best place to enter in a trade or a hold is right here, because whenever they give you bearish news, get in, okay? Yeah, of course, unless it's a hack news or something. Just, you don't take a hack news. But whenever you see a bullish news come out when the coin has already done that much percentage, forget it. Why? Because most likely it retraces. TA will speak more than the news, and TA will speak more than the fundamentals. Okay, because TA, what happens with any project is just a logarithmic range. Okay, it's all programmed, it's all computerized. So it just goes, if a coin is meant to do a 10x, it will do a 10x. 20x, it will do a 20x. I mean, how do you explain? Oops, hold on. How do you explain this, right? How do you explain this? I mean, literally, if you take a look at it, there's absolutely no red candles right here, right? That is what's concerning me, and that's why I'm thinking, unless it ranges, you can easily find it at $3. Okay, because that's just green. And that's bullish news, bullish news, bullish news. Okay, yeah, fundamentals, fundamentals. But even if it's a great fundamental, look, it's still printed red candles. So TA will always speak a lot more than fundamentals. Okay, so just make sure you have a lovely position at a decent price, and don't just go by the fundamentals. Go what the chart tells you. Okay, I mean, take a look at ADA, for example. Speaking of ADA, we have good news on ADA. Okay, soon they'll be releasing the mainnet for the Cardano based DEX, and I think Monday is when the smart contracts are arriving. Okay, so, and look at this. I told you about the 200-day moving average, right? When it starts first appearing, look, Cardano has been such a torture, okay? Such a torture, because it took forever to break this range right here, just forever. And look what they do, bam, they kill you. Why? Now they're releasing the bullish news right here, okay? It's not coincidence that the 200-day moving average on the weekly has just started to appear right here. It's not a coincidence. Okay, they know how to play the game. So these are key things, but it actually makes a lot of sense when you look at it. When you see it over and over again, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, now Cardano, I do have a projection for Cardano going all the way up to $250 or $5. Okay, that's because the TA is putting it there. So I would definitely look for that. Now I see Cardano going all the way up right now, maybe about 170, but then I would grab the retest. Okay, I would not enter this trade. Okay, it's gonna hit most likely this key level right here. Even though there's a lot of bullish news, dailies are already getting high momentum. Okay, so I would grab the retest. And for ADA, I think if I use that's a double top right there, and the bearish divergence on the weekly. But the indicators on weekly look a lot better than sushi. Okay, so watch for ADA. I think this is actually pretty decent. This is gonna go and do the same thing as it did before, like Bitcoin, right? So yeah, let's take this range. And yeah, Cardano can actually go to 480 this cycle. Alright, so watch for this Cardano. Has great fundamentals and TA says it's ready. Okay, let's clear out the mess actually. We'll do the TA again because they only need one single trend line for Cardano at this point. Just the one single line. Okay. Now, good news for Cardano, if you want to get an entry, it's a brilliant idea to wait for a retest. Okay, it's gonna break up, wait for a retest, 130, 129, and then bam. Because how do I know if it's gonna come back? Well, this is a range for Cardano. Okay, so it's gonna break it and then retest it. Probably this level, 130, 135, and then it's off. Okay, at the very least, Cardano will give you 100%. Okay, if it goes to my target all the way to 480, 259% gains. So I'm not sure if you want to keep holding sushi, but this is a lot better. Okay, it has the news to go with it. When the price is at the bottom, bullish news has arrived. So I would keep this on the radar. But let's take a look at sushi BTC because that will tell me more. Okay, you know what? You might be onto something here with sushi. Yeah, sushi is gonna range at least for quite some time. You know what this reminds me of? Orion Protocol. Okay, this reminds me of Orion Protocol actually. And it's gonna range for a while, man. It's not... It's gonna range for a while. I like the indicators. I mean, if you were to look for an entry on sushi, it was right there. But it's got the same thing as the USDT pair. Got the rejection. Okay, so I think it's in a Wyckoff accumulation. All right, but for the next few years, let's play this game. For the next few years, it can go a lot higher. Okay, but the entry will be down here as well. So it can do a 10 to 20x the next bull cycle. Alright, that's a good thing to watch. And now HDR is done. ICP, that's one coin I'm always looking at. That's one coin I'm always looking at. Now it's not ready, just like sushi, it's been torture as hell. Okay, it's been absolute torture. But when the payout is gonna come, it's gonna be huge, man. Honestly, you guys should keep this on the radar. ICP. Okay, when the payout comes, it's gonna be huge. This, it almost looks like a reversal pattern. Okay, we just need the third touch. Okay, we got the one, we got the two. Now if we get the third touch, I think it's gonna bounce from there. Okay. This range, it has to hold. I want another bottom to see a bullish divergence print. Okay, this is doing well. We had a bullish divergence. This is a bounce from the bullish divergence. I'm wanting it to come down and print another bullish divergence. That would be absolutely great for this. Now LOCG, this thing is done for the rest of the bull cycle. this thing is done. Remember how someone asked me for an update on LCG a few days ago, so I'm just pointing it out to you now. Beconomy, I like this project. Okay, I also made a video on it. It's in editing. It's gonna come out soon, so watch out for that. But this is beautiful. Okay, so we got 2 of those down. Harmony is gonna retrace a little bit, I think. 31 to 30 cents, maybe 32. That'll be a good buy zone. Why on Harmony? Although it can still break to the upside, but I'm expecting a retrace. Okay, daily is too high. There is bearish divergence printing. I don't touch anything which already has bearish divergence. Okay, so swing high to swing low on the indicators. Swing high to swing high on the price. Okay, the ADX just looks weak at this very moment. So also it's a rising wedge. Okay, so eventually even if it goes a little bit higher, it's going to break down. So watch for Harmony. Right? Watch for that one. Also there's a double top. So unless that gets negated, I'm not taking the trade. Alice. This thing has been annoying. I think it's going to come back down again to about $8. And then after the races after that. But Alice is going to come down to $8. We rose to dusk, 384. C98 we've done. CRT Link. Now watch for Link. Okay. I really like it. I have a theory posted out in my trading room for Link, and I think it can be very, very, very bullish. Okay, so keep this on your radar and join the trading room if you want more information on these things. It's free, right? And you can get a lot more chat around with the people, bounce off ideas, get to learn about a few new coins and about even the staking programs, so you can get paid in passive incomes. Okay, so watch for that, and watch CeeLo as well. I think CeeLo is going to do great. Okay, 13% gains is not bad. It's just a scalp, because I'm still wary of BTC, to be honest. Even though it's pumping right now, just a little bit, I'm still wary of that. I think it's going to hit the 200 moving average, give us a fake out, and then come back down. Okay, but it all depends on how well it holds this structure. And again, even though Bitcoin holds 43K, it's a good thing, but I wouldn't trust it as far as this little tricky place that they made in 2018. Okay, so even though it closes above 43K, it can still come down. All right. Now VRA, I do like this coin. It has a great staking program. They've launched a new website. There's a lot of news coming out on this thing. I think this coin has about a 6x potential, okay, at the very most, for the remainder of this cycle, because honestly we don't have that much time left. All right, so TA is speaking on veracity. Now it all depends on where it bottoms, but I think you can find it again at around 2 cents. Okay, maybe lucky if you get around 2 cents, but it's still playing out the chop. So after that, I think the maximum it can go to is about 20 cents, 20 to 14 cents. That's what they usually do. We'll take the measure move of the entire channel and see where it leads us. 20 cents is my measure move target from the fibs. And yeah, even this, 18 cents, 18.5 cents. Okay, so it coincides with my fib theory. It has a potential of giving you in total of 550% gains. All right, so keep veracity on the radar along with DOT. Now stay tuned for the upcoming videos as well. because there are a couple of gems that I'm going to be releasing, and they have 5 to 10x potentials, and one even has a 50x potential, just because of their burning programs and the number of tokens they have. But the tokenomics are absolutely beautiful. Okay, so guys, that is it for today. I just wanted mainly to give you a Bitcoin update on this stream, so you don't get caught off by surprise if Bitcoin does drop and it does play out what has happened in the past. Okay, a surprise drop right before a massive rally up. Okay, so watch for that. Also remember, this is not a guarantee, but it is a possibility. As I said before, you never know why. So unless this thing gets negated completely, it still has a chance to break to the downside. Okay, you never go always in one direction ever. That will definitely get you wrecked. All right, so guys, thank you for joining into the stream today. I really appreciate your time, and please like the video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because I do have a lot more information coming out for you guys. All the videos that I have already recorded are in currently editing mode. All right, but they have value information, and you might, one of them you might even be able to get into the pre-sale, or kind of a pre-sale, before the token is released. Okay, it's very special because it's not yet available for trading on any exchanges, so stay tuned for that. All right, thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna be out. Stay tuned, stay safe, stay blessed.